The serpent has always been a powerful symbol, appearing in religious texts, mythology, and philosophy across the globe. It represents a paradoxical force, embodying both creation and destruction, wisdom and temptation. In the Judeo-Christian tradition, the serpent first appears in the book of Genesis, in the Garden of Eden, where it tempts Eve to eat the forbidden fruit. This act is often seen as a metaphor for disobedience, temptation, and the fall of man. Yet, even within this narrative, the serpent is not just a villainous figure. It also symbolizes knowledge, change, and the awakening of human consciousness. The serpent's role in Genesis is multifaceted. While it is traditionally interpreted as the tempter that leads humanity astray, it can also be viewed as the catalyst for human evolution. By encouraging Eve to eat the fruit from the tree of knowledge, the serpent pushes Adam and Eve into a new state of awareness. They become aware of good and evil, of their own bodies, and of their individual autonomy. This awakening is central to the human condition, the transition from innocence to experience, from ignorance to understanding. In this way, the serpent functions not merely as an antagonist, but as an agent of transformation, introducing complexity into the human experience. The dual nature of the serpent is not exclusive to the Judeo-Christian tradition. In ancient Egypt, the serpent was seen as a symbol of both chaos and protection. The uraeus, a stylized upright cobra, was worn by the pharaohs as a symbol of royal authority and divine protection. It represented the goddess Wadjet, who was believed to protect the ruler by spitting fire at his enemies. The serpent's image in this context is one of empowerment, a divine force that both creates and defends order. Yet, it also carries associations with Apep, the serpent deity of chaos and destruction who threatened to swallow the sun during its journey through the underworld each night. These opposing qualities make the serpent a complex symbol of power in ancient Egyptian belief, both the guardian and the destroyer. Moving eastward, the serpent takes on even more profound spiritual connotations in Hinduism and Buddhism. The Kundalini, often symbolized as a coiled serpent, represents a powerful form of dormant spiritual energy that lies at the base of the spine. Through practices such as yoga and meditation, this energy is believed to rise through the chakras, or energy centers of the body, awakening spiritual insight, wisdom, and enlightenment. In this context, the serpent is no longer a figure of temptation or danger, but one of spiritual potential and divine power. It is a reminder that within each individual lies the capacity for profound transformation and ascension. The rise of the Kundalini is often compared to the serpent's shedding of its skin, a natural process that signifies rebirth and renewal. Just as the serpent must shed its old skin to grow, so too must individuals let go of their attachments, fears, and limitations in order to achieve spiritual growth. The serpent here is a guide on the path to self-realization, encouraging the practitioner to look within, to confront the shadows of the subconscious, and to rise to higher levels of consciousness. Interestingly, while the serpent in Western religious thought is often seen as a deceptive force, in many Eastern philosophies, it is revered as a symbol of awakening and wisdom. This contrast highlights the complexity and versatility of the serpent as a symbol across cultures. Where one tradition sees danger, another sees potential. Where one sees temptation, another sees enlightenment. This duality is at the heart of the serpent's symbolism, reflecting the complexities of the human experience and the spiritual journey. The serpent's presence in these various traditions speaks to its universality as a symbol. It transcends geographic, religious, and cultural boundaries, appearing in different forms but carrying similar meanings. Whether as a protector, a tempter, or a source of divine power, the serpent remains an enduring symbol of transformation, embodying the constant tension between life and death, knowledge and ignorance, creation and destruction. In the Garden of Eden, the serpent's temptation leads to the fall of man, but it also brings about the knowledge that separates humans from other creatures. In Egypt, the serpent both protects the pharaoh and threatens the cosmic order. In the East, it represents a spiritual force that can lead to enlightenment. These interpretations, though diverse, all point to the same underlying truth. The serpent is a symbol of profound power, one that both challenges and enlightens, tempts and transforms. In understanding the symbolism of the serpent, one can begin to see it not as a one-dimensional figure, but as a multifaceted symbol of the human experience itself. Like the serpent, life is filled with moments of temptation and wisdom, of destruction and creation. It is in these moments that we are given the opportunity to grow, to shed our old skin, and to rise anew. The serpent's symbolic complexity deepens when we explore its role in various ancient cultures beyond those previously mentioned. In addition to being a symbol of duality, representing both good and evil, life and death, knowledge and ignorance, The serpent also plays a crucial part in mythological narratives around creation, fertility, and the cyclical nature of life. These themes are particularly prominent in civilizations such as the Sumerians, Mesopotamians, and Mesoamericans, each of whom attributed unique and often divine qualities to the serpent. One of the earliest appearances of the serpent in recorded human history can be traced to the mythology of ancient Mesopotamia, specifically within the Sumerian civilization. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the world's oldest surviving works of literature, the serpent serves as a critical figure in the story of immortality. After an arduous journey to obtain the plant of eternal life, Gilgamesh finally secures it. However, as he rests on his return journey, a serpent steals the plant, shedding its skin afterward. The shedding of the serpent's skin, as in other traditions, symbolizes renewal and rebirth, and its theft of the plant serves as a reminder that immortality belongs not to humankind but to the natural world. The serpent here acts as a bridge between the mortal and the divine, reinforcing its connection to life's endless cycles of death and renewal. In this Sumerian narrative, we again see the serpent as both a source of loss and a symbol of transformation. While Gilgamesh loses the possibility of eternal life, the serpent's ability to renew itself implies that immortality, in a symbolic sense, is inherent in nature and the cosmic cycles. This duality, where the serpent is both an agent of denial and a symbol of deeper truths, echoes through many cultures and religious traditions. It reflects the human quest for understanding, where knowledge often comes through loss, sacrifice, or transformation. The theme of cyclical life continues in ancient Mesoamerican cultures, where the serpent is a primary symbol of fertility and cosmic order. The most famous Mesoamerican serpent deity is Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god worshipped by the Aztecs and other pre-Columbian civilizations. Quetzalcoatl represents the union of opposites, the bird and the snake, the heavens and the earth. He is credited with the creation of humankind, bringing maize to the people and guiding them toward civilization. Unlike the serpent in the Garden of Eden, which tempts humans into sin, Quetzalcoatl is a benevolent force, a god who provides nourishment and wisdom. The image of the feathered serpent embodies both spiritual and physical sustenance. The serpent's connection to the earth, to the soil and fertility, is complemented by its association with the sky and the divine. Quetzalcoatl's role as a creator god and as a symbol of resurrection reinforces the serpent's link to the cyclical nature of life. He is believed to descend into the underworld, gathering the bones of previous generations to create new life, which echoes the idea of death leading to rebirth. This narrative places the serpent at the heart of cosmic regeneration, a symbol of eternal cycles that govern the universe. The dual nature of the serpent, both grounded in the earth and capable of ascending to the heavens, makes it a potent symbol for understanding the relationship between the material and spiritual realms. In Mesoamerican cosmology, the world was divided into three layers: the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. The serpent, capable of moving between these realms, was seen as a mediator, linking the human experience with the divine. This cosmological role parallels the serpent's function in other traditions, such as its role in Eastern spirituality as a guide for Kundalini energy rising through the chakras, connecting the earthly and the transcendent. The serpent's role as a mediator between realms is also central to its appearance in Greek mythology. Perhaps the most famous serpent in Greek myth is the Ouroboros, the serpent that devours its own tail, forming a circle. This image, which has been adopted by various esoteric traditions and philosophies, represents the concept of eternal return, the endless cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The Ouroboros symbolizes self-sufficiency, unity, and the interconnectedness of all things. It reflects the idea that creation and destruction are intertwined, that every end is also a beginning. The Ouroboros is often depicted as a symbol of wholeness, signifying the cyclical nature of existence. In alchemical traditions, it represents the endless process of transformation, the death and rebirth of matter as it undergoes various stages of purification and refinement. The image of the serpent devouring its own tail can be seen as a metaphor for the alchemical process of achieving the philosopher's stone, the ultimate goal of transforming base matter into gold. In this context, the serpent is not only a symbol of cycles but also a guide on the path to spiritual enlightenment, reflecting the themes of transformation and transcendence that we find in Eastern traditions as well. The serpent's alchemical significance also extends to its role as a symbol of healing and regeneration. In Greek mythology, the god Asclepius, associated with healing and medicine, is often depicted holding a staff with a serpent coiled around it. This image, known as the rod of Asclepius, remains a symbol of medicine to this day. The serpent's ability to shed its skin is linked to the idea of renewal and the healing process. Just as the serpent renews itself by shedding its old skin, so too does the body heal and regenerate over time. The association of the serpent with healing and medicine is not limited to Greek mythology. In ancient Chinese culture, the dragon, a serpentine creature, was also associated with healing, power, and protection. The Chinese dragon is a benevolent figure, often seen as a symbol of imperial authority and cosmic balance. Unlike the serpents of Western tradition, which are often depicted as malevolent or dangerous, the Chinese dragon is a guardian of life and a bringer of good fortune. It is associated with water, rain, and fertility, reflecting its role in ensuring the well-being of the natural world. In both Eastern and Western traditions, the serpent's connection to healing, regeneration, and fertility highlights its role as a symbol of life's inherent potential for renewal. Whether as the serpent coiled around Asclepius's staff or as the Chinese dragon soaring through the heavens, the serpent represents the power of nature to restore balance and bring about new life. This regenerative power is at the core of the serpent's symbolism, transcending cultural boundaries and appearing in various forms across different mythologies and religious traditions. As we have seen, the serpent's symbolism is vast and multifaceted, appearing in a wide range of cultural contexts and carrying meanings that range from the sinister to the divine. In some traditions, the serpent is a figure of temptation, leading humanity into sin and suffering. In others, it is a guide to enlightenment, a symbol of transformation and spiritual growth. Its dual nature, embodying both danger and wisdom, death and renewal, reflects the complexity of the human experience and the mysteries of the natural world. Ultimately, the serpent represents the ongoing dance between opposites: life and death, creation and destruction, ignorance and knowledge. It serves as a reminder that these dualities are not separate but interconnected, each giving rise to the other in an endless cycle. Whether as a tempter in the Garden of Eden, a protector in ancient Egypt, or a symbol of spiritual awakening in Eastern traditions, the serpent remains a powerful and enduring symbol of the forces that shape our existence. Through its various appearances across cultures and traditions, the serpent invites us to reflect on our own journey of transformation. Like the serpent shedding its skin, we too must let go of our old selves in order to grow and evolve. The serpent's symbolism encourages us to embrace change, to confront the unknown, and to seek wisdom in the cyclical patterns of life. It is a symbol of the endless potential for renewal, a reminder that within every ending lies the seed of a new beginning. The serpent, as a symbol, reaches its full complexity when considered in the modern world, where various traditions intersect and new interpretations emerge. In the final part of this journey through the symbolism of the serpent, from the Garden of Eden to Eastern spiritual practices like Kundalini, the focus shifts towards the deeper psychological and philosophical meanings of the serpent, as explored by modern thinkers, psychologists, and esoteric schools of thought. This part of the exploration also delves into how the serpent as a symbol continues to evolve and resonate within contemporary spiritual movements, reflecting its timeless relevance. One of the most significant contributions to the understanding of the serpent in modern times comes from the field of psychology, particularly through the work of Carl Jung. Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, famously explored the archetypes that appear in the collective unconscious of humanity, which he believed were universal symbols present in myths, dreams, and religions across all cultures. The serpent, or snake, figures prominently in Jung's exploration of these archetypes, representing both the shadow aspects of the psyche and the potential for spiritual transformation. For Jung, the serpent embodied what he referred to as the shadow, the darker, unconscious aspects of the human mind that are often repressed or denied. The shadow contains elements of our personality that we find difficult to accept: our fears, desires, and primal instincts. The serpent, in this context, serves as a powerful symbol of these hidden forces, often appearing in dreams or myths as a menacing figure that must be confronted. Yet, for Jung, confronting the shadow was not merely an act of resisting its power, but of integrating it into one's conscious awareness, recognizing it as an essential part of the whole self. Just as the serpent in the Garden of Eden brought knowledge to Adam and Eve, the shadow serpent in Jungian psychology brings awareness of the deeper layers of the psyche. Jung also recognized the serpent as a symbol of transformation, particularly in its association with alchemy, a practice he explored extensively in his psychological work. Alchemists, much like Jung himself, were concerned with the process of transformation, both physical and spiritual. In alchemical symbolism, the serpent represents the base matter that must be transformed into gold, not only in a material sense but in a metaphorical one, representing the transmutation of the soul from a lower state of awareness to a higher one. The The serpent's ability to shed its skin symbolizes this process of death and rebirth, echoing the spiritual awakening described in Eastern traditions such as Kundalini yoga. The Jungian interpretation of the serpent as a symbol of the shadow and of transformation reflects a broader trend in modern thought that sees the serpent not as purely malevolent, but as a complex and ambivalent figure. It embodies both the challenges and opportunities inherent in the human condition. This duality, present in many ancient myths and religious traditions, finds new expression in Jung's work, where the serpent is a guide through the depths of the unconscious, leading the individual toward greater self-awareness and spiritual growth. The idea of the serpent as a symbol of transformation also resonates with modern spiritual movements, particularly those that emphasize personal growth, healing, and the pursuit of enlightenment. In contemporary Western esotericism, the serpent often appears in practices related to energy healing, meditation, and the exploration of consciousness. The concept of Kundalini, with its serpent energy coiled at the base of the spine, has been embraced by various New Age movements and spiritual practitioners as a powerful metaphor for the awakening of spiritual potential. In these modern interpretations, the serpent is no longer seen as a symbol of evil or temptation, but rather as a force of awakening and empowerment. The rise of Kundalini energy through the chakras is viewed as a process of spiritual ascension, where the practitioner moves from lower states of consciousness, associated with survival and basic needs, to higher states of awareness, wisdom, and unity with the divine. This journey mirrors the broader spiritual narrative of the serpent's symbolism throughout history, from the earthbound, primal instincts of the serpent and its association with temptation and sin, to its role as a divine messenger and a symbol of enlightenment in Eastern traditions. Modern interpretations of the serpent's symbolism also extend beyond spiritual practices and into the realm of cultural and social analysis. In feminist thought, for example, the serpent has been re-examined as a symbol of feminine power, sexuality, and wisdom. In many ancient cultures, the serpent was closely associated with goddesses of fertility, creation, and the earth, such as the Greek goddess Gaia or the Hindu goddess Shakti. These associations reflect the serpent's connection to life-giving forces, a symbol of both creation and destruction, fertility and renewal. In patriarchal religious narratives such as the story of the Garden of Eden, the serpent is often portrayed as a tempter, leading Eve into sin and causing the downfall of humanity. However, feminist scholars and spiritual practitioners have reinterpreted this story, seeing the serpent not as a symbol of evil, but as a figure of empowerment. In this interpretation, the serpent represents the reclamation of feminine wisdom and power, challenging the notion of women's inherent sinfulness or weakness. The act of eating the forbidden fruit is seen not as a fall from grace, but as an act of liberation, a moment of awakening to knowledge and self-awareness. The serpent, in this feminist reading, becomes a symbol of the feminine divine, reclaiming its ancient associations with fertility, transformation, and wisdom. This reinterpretation of the serpent challenges the traditional patriarchal view of the serpent as a dangerous or malevolent force and instead celebrates it as a source of strength and empowerment. In addition to its psychological and spiritual significance, the serpent also plays a role in the exploration of deeper philosophical questions about the nature of life, death, and existence itself. In existential philosophy, for instance, the serpent can be seen as a symbol of the inherent tension between life and death, freedom and limitation, creation and destruction. The serpent's dual nature, embodying both the life-giving and the destructive forces of nature, mirrors the existential condition of humanity, where life is constantly shaped by the awareness of mortality and the inevitability of death. The image of the Ouroboros, the serpent devouring its own tail, is particularly relevant to existential thought. It represents the cyclical nature of life, where creation and destruction are inseparable, and where the end of one cycle gives rise to the beginning of another. This endless loop of existence, symbolized by the Ouroboros, reflects the existentialist idea that life is an ongoing process of becoming, where meaning is not fixed but constantly redefined through the choices we make and the actions we take. The Ouroboros also resonates with the idea of self-sufficiency and self-realization. In devouring its own tail, the serpent represents the unity of all things and the interconnectedness of existence. It suggests that all aspects of life, including suffering and death, are part of a larger whole, and that true wisdom comes from embracing this totality rather than rejecting or denying it. In this sense, the Ouroboros is a symbol of acceptance, inviting us to recognize the cyclical nature of life and to find meaning in the process of transformation. In contemporary philosophical discourse, the serpent symbolism continues to provoke thought and reflection on the nature of existence, particularly in relation to the human condition and the search for meaning. Whether as a symbol of transformation, wisdom, or the cyclical nature of life, the serpent remains a powerful metaphor for the complex and often contradictory forces that shape our world. The serpent's journey from the Garden of Eden to the modern world reveals a profound and enduring symbol that continues to resonate across cultures, religions, and philosophies. It embodies the dualities of life, good and evil, knowledge and ignorance, life and death. Yet, within these dualities lies the potential for transformation, for growth, and for the awakening of deeper spiritual truths. As we conclude this exploration of the serpent's symbolism, it becomes clear that the serpent is not a fixed or static figure, but a dynamic and evolving symbol that reflects the complexities of the human experience. It challenges us to confront our own shadows, to embrace the cycles of life and death, and to seek wisdom in the process of transformation. In the end, the serpent invites us to shed our old selves, like the serpent shedding its skin, and to rise to new levels of awareness and understanding. This timeless symbol, with its roots in ancient mythology and its relevance in modern spiritual practices, continues to speak to the deepest aspects of our existence. Whether we encounter the serpent in dreams, in religious texts, or in philosophical contemplation, its presence serves as a reminder of the ongoing journey of transformation that we are all a part of. Through the serpent's wisdom, we are encouraged to look within, to confront the challenges of life with courage and insight, and to embrace the endless potential for renewal that lies at the heart of our human experience.